running into someone from high school and they're like, oh, baby number 2 is on the way and we're going to redo the living room. And what's new with you? And I'm like, oh, I'm talking to a guy who doesn't text me back on the weekends, but sometimes on the weekdays he does. And I did an online quiz for autism. I passed that with flying colors.
I love how on the one hand you have women raising families, healthy families, leading by example, raising the new generation, literally shaping the world, you know, the people who live in it. And on the other hand, you have women who do online tests for autism and chase some bad boy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the desert. For today's video, we're gonna do something a bit more different, which is cover first the article story, because I think I'm gonna title the video after it, and then we'll move on to our TikToks. All right, let's see how that goes. So I read, will I be wrong for kicking her out of my house? So this is a dude, let's read it. Posting this from my cousin's account, don't have Reddit. 32-year-old male, 26 female, have been dating 2 years. She lives with me. She is 8 months pregnant. Long story short, I found out last week it ain't mine. Male friend sent me a video of her with another man in public. I confronted her, she confessed. But she wants to stay with me and wants me to accept the kid. Let me guess, she also wants a Ferrari, doesn't she? Isn't it so convenient? Well, you found out about me cheating in a very disgusting way as well. But hey, I mean, if you ask me, previous ex-boyfriend, I want to stay in your house for free and you to pay my bills and you to also accept the kid that I had during an infidelity with another man. How about that? That's what I want, you know? Obviously, that ain't no option. Glad this man is sticking to his guns. I'm ending things. That's the correct thing to do. But will it be wrong to kick her out of the house? She doesn't have any family in this state and works minimum wage job part-time. I don't want anything to do with her, but trying to make a logical decision. Look, I understand where this man is coming from. I think he's being too weak, right? Kick her to the curb, straight to the street. Don't care about no baby, don't care about nothing. Some of you may consider that too harsh. Guys, we are all adults, all right? These are the consequences of your own actions. This is literally F around and find out. This woman F'd around and now she's finding out. Like, you are not owed. They're not even married, all right? So you're not owed to this woman anything at all. You should not keep her there. You should not pay a single thing more. You should not keep her there for free. You should not take care after this child. I get the idea that, you know, the baby is not to blame, so why would you inflict kicking her out to the baby? Look, she is more responsible for that baby than he is, alright? It's not his baby in the end. Also, she's alone. Not really. Some dude shook her up, so hey, go live with him, right? Even if she didn't have anyone, don't care at all. This is her responsibility, not his. But let's read some of the comments, gentlemen, and you let me know what you think. Am I being too harsh? Comment here says, I think I'd get a paternity test to confirm it isn't yours. Condoms are not 100% effective, and give her a 30 to 60 day deadline to move out. Hell no. Guys, hell no. 30 to 60 days. If you catch me lacking, maybe 1-2 days. 30 to 60, it's 2 months, rent free, get out of here. Also, I presume the dude did a paternity test. Oh no, he can't do a paternity test because the baby wasn't born, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, I think he knows. Maybe they don't sleep together, or I don't know how, but I think the dude knows and is quite certain. Maybe they live in a dead bedroom or something. But by the looks of it, I can see the guy is quite sure about it. Well, original poster, she has the child's father, so she should look to him to house her. Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying. The guy shook her up. Go take care of her. I see in one of your other posts that he has ghosted her. That's fantastic. These women, guys, they trade a man. Okay, this man, and we don't have a backstory, but they've been together 2 years. She's living there rent free. This guy probably loves her, takes care of her, pays her bills, takes her to places, pays for her dinners, right? He does all of that. She goes to shake up with some dude who 2 days later dismisses her. You see why I don't have any sort of respect towards most single mothers? Because a lot of single mothers are like this. They trade a family for own pleasure. Yeah? And this is what they get. At this point, I will buy her a ticket, bus or plane back to her family and ship her belongings to her there. It will no longer be your responsibility to worry. Pricey, yes, but there is something to be said for a clean break and getting her into a safer environment rather than on the street. You will sleep better at night. The original poster says, thank you, great advice. Sucks to pay for a cheater, but this is a mature way of handling it and cutting things off cleaner too. So maybe in the end he ended up doing that. Guys, I do not advise that at all. Why are you paying for a cheater, for a woman that doesn't owe you, for a woman who you don't owe anything at all? The only situation, guys, this is my opinion, the only situation in which I will keep this woman around is if we are living in a hut in the middle of the forest in the winter, and me kicking her out will end up in her inevitable doom. This is the only situation in which I will keep her there and tell her, don't talk to me, don't do anything with me. Once the weather is better, you get out of here, right? Only situation. She's not going to pass away if you kick her, all right? Yes, she's going to struggle. Yes, she's going to get wet in the rain. Yes, maybe she won't have money to buy a plane ticket. Hey, you figure yourself out, man. I don't care. You should have thought about that when you were shaking up with some other guy, alright? Guys, I don't think I'm being too harsh with this opinion at all. She is an adult, she can figure this out, alright? We're not talking about kicking your 16-year-old daughter because she had an affair or something. Your daughter is your responsibility. This woman is some stranger. You don't owe her anything. You're not even married. Also, your daughter will be underage, in my example, and she's your daughter, she's your responsibility. Again, this woman is no one and she's an adult. Take responsibility. Like, why should you as a man take responsibility for her? And I don't care about the baby. If it's gonna be alive, if it's gonna make it, yeah, you take care of it. It's your baby, it's not mine. I'm not here Superman to take care of all the babies in the world that are not even mine. You know what I mean? She's gonna figure it out. You're an adult. We're gonna read one more. I'm really sorry this happened to you. You're not wrong for asking her to move out of your house and life. She is an adult and needs to face the consequence of her decisions. If she was brave enough to cheat and hold such a big lie until now, she must be brave enough to do whatever needed to continue with her chosen life path. Maybe if you feel generous, you could give her some time window to move out. I agree with this. If you feel generous, give her a couple of days. If you don't feel generous, just throw out all her things in the street. You figure out. You little witch, you know? That's what I'm saying. Another one here says, call her parents. I mean, guys, you let me know. If it were me, I tell her, I'm gonna tell your parents about this. You are their responsibility if your parents want to take care of this. Otherwise, in 2 days, I'm gonna throw all your belongings to the street, and you're out of here right now. Like, you're out of here right now. Go to your lover. Your things are going to be on the street 2 days from now, so figure out something along the way. But anyway, geez, gentlemen, what a story to start with. I think I'm going to title this video after the article because I found this quite disturbing, to be honest with you. And there are still people that will defend the woman and want the men to take responsibility for her. Notice how, in some aspects, gentlemen, we treat women as if they were kids. Oh, they didn't know any better. Oh, you probably didn't pay enough attention to her if you made her cheat. We just treat them like children, you know? And I won't stand for it. If you want to be treated like children, then you have to admit that men have more authority, alright? You gotta listen to them. If you don't want to do that, if you want to be equal, okay, equal responsibilities, right? Equal rights, equal fights. But gentlemen, now, let's move on to our TikToks. Let's see what this woman has to say. Again, let me know what you think about the article.
What I've been thinking a lot about lately is if women started dating like men, it would literally be a game changer in relationship dynamics.
Yeah, it will be a game changer in the sense that humanity will grow extinct in less than 50 years. Women are terrible at picking up men. Women are terrible at dating, the dating game. I don't even blame them. They're not supposed to be good at it. They're not the ones who are supposed to chase. So I don't even blame them. I'm just observing. They are terrible. If it were up to them, guys, they will probably try to talk to two men. They will be unsuccessful at it, and then they will go into a depression. And they will go cry in the dark corner of the room and never speak to men again. And their self-esteem will drop, and they will probably unalive themselves in 2 years because their life has gone to crap. You know.
Now, I know a lot of people hear that and they automatically think of like these red pill alpha podcasters who date multiple women at one time.
Hey, that's me.
We're not talking about your quintessential 20-something-year-old douche canoe, right? I'm talking about like the logic and practicality that a lot of average men implement when they're searching for a partner. Just hear me out, right? Like, let's talk about preliminary dating here, right? When men start searching for a woman, if a woman does not meet their standards, they will not consider her as a long-term option. They'll fuck around, they'll find out. They may even string her along just to keep themselves company while they look for the woman that they actually want. But you don't see men falling in love with women's potential or thinking that they can change her. They're either going to accept her for who she is and build the life they want for him and her, or if she doesn't meet his standards, he's simply going to replace her with a woman who does.
Isn't that just so easy, so plain, simple, understandable? I wish women were like that. You know, these women, and when I say these women, I mean most of them, that, you know, I can change him, dad. So annoying. Why? So absurd. You get with a person who doesn't match what you're looking for, and oh, I'm gonna start changing him. I'm Bob the Builder over here. I'm gonna save him, gonna construct, build up this relationship. Chill, chill. Stop trying to change people. It boggles my mind. You get into a relationship with someone and you don't like him, so you gotta start changing him. Why are you with him if you don't like him? It's absurd. Imagine getting with like a 304 with a triple-digit body count with the idea of, I'm gonna turn her into I don't know, a Christian woman or something, you know, this very church attending, morally enlightened individual. Just absurd.
And I know that there are a lot of women, you know, with the thought process, I could change him, I could da-da-da-da-da, but gender dynamics automatically dictate that a man is going to lead you to whatever level he's on. So thinking that you could elevate him, change him, or falling in love with his potential is absolutely ridiculous, because tomorrow isn't promised. Just on that premise alone, you can only love whatever it is you have in front of you. And if the sum total of his life thus far has accumulated to jack shit, what makes you think that you coming in a better position is somehow going to inspire him? It's very few and far between that it actually works like that with men and women alike. It's just men actually accept that. They're not going to date a woman that meets their standards, or they're going to lump her into a compartment and never let her come out of that. Women will date a man who doesn't meet their standards and then reason themselves into a relationship they know isn't going to work simply because he's around or he makes promises.
No, simply because, and here's the reason why they do this, they are addicted to anxiety. You put these women, if you force them at gunpoint to partake in a healthy relationship, they will try to sabotage their way out of it. They'll try to cheat. They'll try to villainize the men, all right? They don't want to be in healthy relationships. They want the anxiety. They want the emotional roller coaster. This is why they get with men based on their potential, is how they frame it. Don't get me wrong. This is a female trait that women want to improve. And it's true that women date in terms of potential. Sometimes that can be a healthy thing. Women have this tendency to always want to improve things. Men tend to get more comfortable when it comes to dating and relationships. Women know. They want to keep you on check, you know, paying attention to detail, doing this, doing that. So, and I think it's a good thing, because in this way, women, for example, they can spot problems as they are arising before they become big and tear down the relationship. They can keep the relationship in check. They may maintain the relationship, you know. It can be a good thing. Problem is when the woman herself is not a good woman. So she turns what is supposed to be a blessing into, well, now I'm dating all these bad boys and I'm expecting them to change. It's no longer about fixing a healthy relationship. It's about getting into really bad relationships and clowning yourself into thinking that you can somehow turn them into good, which again is not what these women want. They essentially, they don't want for the relationship to turn good. And I've seen this happen, gentlemen, where a woman will get with a bad boy, she'll turn him into a good man, one of the very rare occasions. And then when he's a good man, they feel bored and they leave. I don't know if you've seen that. Hilarious.
If all it takes for you to fall in love is words, and understand that that's all that man is ever going to give you. And you know, it's not just in the preliminary stages that men are cold and calculated. It's not just dating and courtship. You also see it within relationships. Why do you think that men cheat more often than women? It's not because it's their animal instinct. We all have the same sexual urges. The reason that men cheat more frequently than women is because they can simply get away with it. Women will forgive, whereas majority of men who get cheated on just end up exiting the relationship.
First off, that's not true. In fact, I've noticed men tend to be more forgiving, maybe because they don't have as many options. Second off, it's not true that men and women have the same patriarchal urges. That is simply not true. That is probably the most untrue statement out of all three that are untrue. Men are way more patriarchally aroused. They tend to be more often, which is also it's one of the reasons why men also commit rape more often, even though, of course, there's a lot of factors there. But men tend to value S3X way more than women, all right? And third thing untrue that she said is that men cheat more than women. I mean, technically it's true, but it's very close, right? Men and women tend to cheat the same. Men, I think they were a few percentages above, but it's practically the same. For me, guys, it doesn't boil down to gender. It just boils down to being a trash person, a dishonest person.
Because it's non-forgivable to them. And to women, it's non-forgivable, but they stay, which is crazy because a lot of women will hunt out their partner's transgressions just to find out he's cheating, cry, fight, and stay. Stay knowing that they can't forgive him, that the relationship's been ruined, that both of them are now miserable, but they stay regardless. If we set this standard where we just excommunicated ourselves from men who were disloyal, if the punishment for cheating was more severe for men, there would be less cheating. I think that a lot of men come off as lacking emotional depth within relationships. They seem disconnected or like they have the ability to disconnect from long-term relationships or situationships easier than women. But the reality is it's because men live in the present tense when it comes to relationships, whereas women will live in the beauty of the past or the potential of the future.
Guys, I gotta say, I agree with her on this. Surprising for me. I very much agree. I didn't think she will take it in that direction. Yes, meant to be more plain when it comes to that. And I don't say that as something bad. I think it's good. Because women tend to overthink sometimes. I mean, women are better when it comes to understanding the, let's say, the flow of the relationship, all these things. I don't even understand. But at the same time, women like men because men are focused on the present. Men don't overthink. Men provide solutions rather than keep asking questions, you know? They complement each other. And so whenever you see a woman complaining about, oh, my man doesn't have emotional intelligence. First off, that's not emotional intelligence. Second off, your man is simply not equally as overthinking as you are, all right? He's not equally as emotionally unstable as you are, which is a good thing. If these women that whine about emotional intelligence were dating someone who happens to be like them, they will hate it. They will absolutely hate it. Yet they cannot stop complaining about men just because they are not as unstable as they are. It really shows it that they really don't understand the dynamics between men and women.
Rather than what is actually happening at this moment right now. How does this person make me feel at this moment? What type of life can they give me at this moment? Yesterday is over, tomorrow isn't promised. What is happening right now in this relationship? And that is where we see a lot of men operating. I'm just saying it's pretty few and far between that you see men compromise their standards and their expectations. These are usually non-negotiables. And if they find a woman who doesn't meet their standards or expectations that they're interested in, they effectively compartmentalize her and she never comes out. she never comes out. That's why some of y'all will forever be side chicks, or some of y'all will forever be the sneaky link, or some of y'all will be the girlfriend that they never marry unless they turn 50 and erectile dysfunction kicks in and they're like, well, fuck it, I might as well for insurance, right? Pending extenuating.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why we men tell women to not hook up around, because men simply don't respect women who have done this with their past. They will never see them as viable dating options. They put them in the box of recreational purposes. This is not a secret that men keep from women. This is something that we've been very clear about, yet apparently they don't understand it.
Circumstances and exceptions, the general rule of thumb with men is that they're not going to fall in love with your potential, they're not going to hold on to your representative, and they're not going to forgive something that they know they can't forget. And if we started implementing those same standards and logic in our dating process, a lot more of us would not be getting our time wasted and strung along. I would also highly encourage...
Wait. Is this woman implying that if they thought like men, dating will be much better? We came to the conclusion that, hey, wait a minute, if all we women started dating like men, dating will be just so much easier and we wouldn't have all these problems and this baggage. I love it. I don't know if she realizes that she came to that conclusion. But anyway, guys, talking about potential, isn't that what most single mothers and divorced women and women who are single over 30 talk about? They want you to view their potential. They essentially come up to you and say, yes, I know that I come from a divorce, but take a look at my potential. Now I know what I want. I'm going to be the perfect wife. Just put a ring on my finger. Single mothers. Yeah, well, I know I've chose this really bad boy who impregnated me and then ran off because I'm terrible at partner selection. But look at my potential. Look at all the things I'm managing, having a baby, having work. I'm so up to date. I'm such a good wife option. Women over 30. Yes, I know I've been single for over a decade, unable to find a good man once for the life of me. But look at my potential. Now, after all this baggage, after all these men that have run me through, now I know what I want. Now I know my crap. Now I have raised my standards. No, go out with your potential.
Encourage a lot of women to stop calling it love or developing emotional bonds with men simply because they spent a lot of time with you or you guys exchanged a lot of words. Text message, telephone calls, you guys hang out a lot. None of that really means anything. It really doesn't. Love is an act of service, which means it requires actions. Actions will always speak louder than words. You guys will meet a guy who you've compartmentalized as not meeting your expectations and standards, but because he consistently shows up, you decide to build a life with him that you know he's not capable of because he couldn't do it for himself. You will not see men do this. You will not see a man do this. He can spend as much time as he wants with a woman. They can exchange words. They can even say, I love you, whatever the case may be. If it is in his head that she is not going to be his wife, she is not going to be his wife. It doesn't matter how hard she clings to that man. It doesn't matter if she plays the last woman standing game. He will perpetually wife shop while he strings that woman along. And if you want to avoid being the woman who gets strung along, then you have to make your standards and expectations non-negotiable. You have to stand your ground. And I realize that it seems as if I'm objectifying human beings, right? By saying something cold and calculated, like they can be replaced or they should be effectively compartmentalized in the role they can play in your life based off your non-negotiable standards and expectations. But this is why men are substantially more successful than women. They do this with everything just like we do. Career, car, home. You think about a life goal and you work your ass off to get it. And sometimes things come along that you have to let go because they don't fit into the long-term goal. I think that men are more successful in love because they date in the present tense. They're not holding on to a representative after you've let them down. They're not falling in love with your potential. They're not dating somebody who doesn't meet their standards or expectations, well, at least not seriously for that matter. And they're not forgiving where they know they can't forget. right? If we thought the same way, we would not be as complacent in our relationships. A lot of women settle down, quite literally. They settle for a downgraded option of their life goal, and then they wonder why they're always fucking miserable. You have to think of the non-negotiables. You have to love a person for who they are today. You have to find somebody who already comes meeting your standards and expectations. This is how you successfully find a life partner.
Well, guys, well, I don't agree with everything she said from the beginning of the video, but I agree with most of it, to be honest with you. And I like this woman's line of thinking. Hadn't watched this video all throughout, but it was nice covering it with you. You see, guys, I don't hate all women. You see, I found this woman enjoyable. I don't know her dating circumstance. I'm not saying I will wife her up. I'm just saying that I found her talk enjoyable. I would go to have a coffee and talk with her, you know? See, guys, I don't hate all women. Come on now. I'm a bit of a patriarchal pig myself, I have to say. I wouldn't say I'm a misogynist, though, you know? Because with my mother, now these are 2 women I don't hate. I'm kidding, there are more, of course. But guys, let's not get into the exact number. It was just refreshing to see a woman that is not a pain in the ass to cover. So thank you for joining. Hope you liked our article story, our TikTok. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good one.